Hey everybody, it's Mr. Brock from MrBrockDotNet. Welcome back to our great YouTube channel. Remember to like and subscribe and not to like and unsubscribe at all these times that are important. Slam that dislike button high. Okay, so I'm here with all the most rad people that decided to stay after class for, what is it, 7th period today. And we're going to be looking over the LEQ rubric. We're going to do some practice grading on some LEQs and talk about what gets the point and what doesn't get the point. Okay? So what we'll do is we'll start off by looking at the rubric and how this works. This is the first time I've used this little camera thingy. My hands look kind of strange. I write on them. I'm married. These are things you should know. Okay. So first of all, if you see this category here, it is, let's see if I can zoom, fam. Oh, it doesn't even work like that. Isn't that cool?
It's so blurry.
It's kind of blurry, okay. Okay. But, so we're starting with the rubric, and we've got this column here. And what I'll do is I'll kind of move the screen around, I guess. Or move the paper around. The first column is the score earned column, and you can see here, you can get 1 for that row, 1 for that row, 2 for that row, 2 for that row. 2, 2, and 2 is 6. Okay, hello, come on in. So this is the rubric that AP gives out, and we've got some notes in here that I can pop in. But basically, you get the point or you don't. And so I'm going to go through each of these. I'm going to go through them a little bit out of order as well. I'm going to try to zoom back out to the real world and like manually zoom here. Much better. It says we're in HD. Excellent. All right. So as we look at as we look at the scoring criteria here, the first thing we're going to score is the thesis. I have no idea why they don't put context first. Everybody writes context first, and so we're going to start by looking at B context. All it says that I need to use for the criteria for scoring for context is that you describe a broader historical context relevant to the prompt. And then over in this third column, AP, and these are AP's words, not mine, they say that it must relate to the topic of the prompt to broader historical events, developmental processes that occur before, during, or continue after the time frame. The point is not awarded for merely a phrase or a reference. All right, so basically, my note on this is that you need to do 2 or 3 sentences. And the reason I say that, I guess I should spell out 3. Do that. 2 or 3 sentences because it's 1/6 of your paper. That's a lot of points. And so make sure that you start off, I can't tell you on the DBQ this year, and this is very similar to the DBQ, by the way. I can't tell you how many times I've put that note on people's paper. Hey, give me some more here. Give some more information. This is 1/6 of your paper. When the DBQ, it's 1/7 of your paper. That's a lot. Okay. I think if you lose the context point on the DBQ, I think it knocks your grade down to an 84%. And so think about that. That's 16 points that that one little thing is worth. Okay. So and the advice I'm giving you right now, this is the same for the DBQ and the LEQ. You need 2 or 3 sentences, and I always say to set up the stage. And the reason I say set up the stage is we're doing an actual, let's pretend like we're putting on a play. Maybe Still Magnolias, such as the RCHS Drama Club is doing on May the 4th. May the 4th be with you at the Drama Club, right? You're putting on a play. You got to set up. You got to set up the stage. You got to put everything out there, and we'll see how well people do that here in a moment. Some quick things about thesis. For thesis, We just need to make sure that it responds to the prompt and it's historically defensible. It has to establish a line of reasoning. What does that mean? It's pretty simple. All you have to do, we're writing a change and continuity paper. You basically have to have one change and one continuity that's true. If you have one change and one continuity, you get the credit. You get the credit, okay? And I always say that your thesis needs to be broad. And we'll look at the examples that we have here in a moment. It says it can be one or more contiguous sentences, and it has to be located in either the introduction or the conclusion. It must be clear and analytical. So we can't go diving into the second of 5 paragraphs looking for your thesis. It just doesn't work that way. And you know somebody's tried that, right? Okay, for the evidence down here, we're looking at 2 different points. And basically both of these points, the 1 and the 2, and the 1 and the 2 down here, are points about it's more specific. To get 1 point, they have to have 1 piece of she, S-H-E, specific historical evidence. Okay? If they have 1 piece of specific historical evidence that answers the prompt, that is relevant to the prompt, they get a point. They'll get 2 points if they have specific historical evidence to support an argument in response to the prompt. Now, how many? DK, law, we don't know. Every time we get out to the AP reading, they tell us. So we use the Guatemala paper to cover our rear ends. And we know that we're going to try to throw these in as many as possible. So specifically, if we're giving 1 change and 1 continuity, we're giving 1 change and 2 continuities, then that should be 3 specific pieces of evidence, and that should cover it. Okay? But we really want to try to sprinkle it in as much as we can, and we need to lay it on pretty thick. And then finally, down here with the analysis and reasoning, the first, this is kind of, I would call this the weirdo box, okay? Because in a way, it's a judgment call. But the truth is, all we have to do is stay on topic, and we have to use comparison, causation, or CCOT to frame an argument that addresses the prompt. And we get 2 points, and this is the magical 6th point. It's made of unicorns and rainbows.
So is that like a bonus point?
It's almost kind of like the bonus point. It's kind of like the magical 7th point in the DBQ. And basically, we can call it the magical 6th point, but we can also call it the checklist point. And we can also call it the good paper point. So the truth is, you can write a pretty short and crappy LEQ and get 5 points. To get the 6th point, you need to write a good LEQ. Now the good news is the Guatemala paper. Now, this all happened in the late, in 2008 when I took a safari to Guatemala. I fought off 3 ancient beasts, one more powerful than the next, until I opened up a chest, and inside that chest was the beating heart of a prisoner of war. I took that prisoner of war's heart to the top of the temple, drained it clear of its blood, and on the sand, as the sun drew the blood up so it could breathe and return another day, appeared in front of me a paper from Guatemala. That paper is linked in the description. Okay? So the Guatemala paper is our way of making sure we get everything covered to make sure we get 6 points on the LEQ, 7 points on the DBQ. It's linked in the description. Okay. So we get that first point pretty easily. How do we get the second point? We get the second point because we need to check off some of these bullets. How many bullets do I have to check off to get the 6 point? DK, law. Who knows? Right? Oh no, you missed the second DK law joke. Let's rewind. DK, law. Okay. So, nuance. So you're probably going to see an essay that only asks for a change. Okay, so you want to give changes and continuities. You also want to say, well, this was kind of a change, but you can look at it this way and maybe see it as a continuity. Or we can see that Islam caused this thing to happen, but in fact, it actually caused the opposite thing to happen in this other area. You're showing that you're thinking, okay? Both similarity and difference, continuity and change, multiple causes, both causes and effects. This is the one that means we have to go ahead and put 3 paragraphs, okay? We have relevant and insightful connections. We've been doing that a lot with the SAQs this year, and by saying this is similar to X in that both X and Y produce Z, okay? And we can do that as a way to wrap up paragraphs. Finally, 2 more. The validity of an argument. And so we're talking about an argument, and then we are giving evidence that supports our argument. It's a deeper way of thinking, and it's not just spewing out things you heard in class. And then finally, qualifies or modifies an argument by considering diverse or alternative views or evidence. So I qualify it. I say, well, this was the case, but you need to take into consideration this. This is our rubric, okay? And so we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to grade our first paper.